Good afternoon, students. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for the response. So now let us revise what we have studied into the last lecture. So in the last lecture, we have studied many of the points. So directly I will move to the main syllabus so that we can revise few of the points also. So I don't know why the syllabus points are not shown here because slide is there. Okay, so we will move to the uh, yes, in the last lecture, we started with the database languages. In the database languages, again, whatever the database languages are there, the complete section is divided into number of subparts. Then the first comes the data definition, which is used to define the structure of a database. That is, which is also called as a schema in terms of a database. And data manipulation language, it means that data manipulation deals with the records where values are there. So data definition defines how the data should be stored, what should be the data type, what are the rules which we can apply, and data manipulation deals with which data we should add. So when it comes to the data definition and data manipulation, it means that this is my table, and within the table I should have 4 columns. What should be the data type, what rule I should apply on these columns, that is decided by the data definition. And regarding the values, whether inserting the value, removing the value, updating or changing the value, that is decided by a data manipulation. And in the data manipulation, a reading of the data, that is also included, that is which is called as a select query. So select query, this is called as a query language. It means when it comes to the SQL, when we call as a query language, it means we are talking about the select. So data definition, this command also generates a data dictionary which stores information about the schema, that is which rules are applied, who can access, authorization also, that is stored. And again, data definition we can use for applying some rules. Out of that, domain constraint, just like which data type should be there, what should be the value set, that is decided by the domain constraint. Referential integrity, when it comes to the values from more than one relations, this restriction can be applied if there are more than one tables. And in order to store value to one table, if I need to take reference of another relation, for that purpose, we use a referential integrity. Next, assertions. Assertions, these are the rules which implicitly we need to add. So domain constraint, referential integrity, all these are the assertions. It means type of the assertions are there. Next, authorization. Authorization, where we are talking about which rights to be given to the each user. So read, insert, update, and delete. These are the types of authorization. So any combination can be given to the user. Okay, so read it means that he or she can read the data, insert, able to add new data, update, change the existing data, and delete it means remove the data. Then data manipulation. So in the data manipulation, this called as a query language. So there are two types of the DML, procedural DML and declarative DML. Procedural, where what data to be required, also along with how the data can be retrieved. The procedure is also given. So that is relational algebra. In declarative DML, only what data is required, that is specified without specifying how to get that data. So domain relational calculus and tuple relational calculus. So these are the examples of declarative DMLs. Declarative DML are also called as a non-procedural query language. So again, SQL, this is a non-procedural language. Then within that, we have seen an example of the select. So this is simply a syntax. So regarding details, we'll talk during the SQL. So then next, here, the select query is an example how we can retrieve a name of the instructor into the computer science department. So here, select this clause is used to include the name of the column. From clause is used in order to list the table names, and where clause is used in order to pass the condition. Okay, so it means that here we can separate columns names by using comma. Here also from more than one table, we can extract the data, but at least single table should be there. So all these languages are in higher level. So for converting those, again, we use DML compiler, etc. in order to execute the query. So then next, here, we can also go for other languages where we can go for using accessing the database by using embedded SQL means or by using application programs. And next, database design. In the database design, logical design, where we are taking the business decision and computer science decision, how to categorize the different attributes. म्हणजे कुठल्या कुठल्या कॉलम कुठल्या कुठल्या टेबल मध्ये डिवाइड करायचे, that is decided in based on the business decision, and what data types to be used, which constraints to be applied, that is decided in computer science decision. Next, physical design. So here we will decide based on the physical layout of the database. So in this way, in two phases, database design is formed. Again, a database is partitioned into number of modules, that is storage manager, query processor, and transaction management components. So storage manager, where we are having interaction with the OS and different components are transaction management, file management, buffer management. So here again, we have seen the structure of this architecture, that is a general centralized architecture for database. So where we have seen buffer management, file manager, authorization and integrity, transaction manager, different different parts of the storage manager, and also different parts of the query processor. So this one deals with the handling transaction, where transaction should be either completely or able to recover from the failures. Then authorization and integrity decides whether right user is accessing the right database and given operation is allowed or not. For example, if I'm having the 1,000, whether I should allow to withdraw 2,000. So integrity manager checks whether current operation is allowed or not. File manager, it deals with the handling the data, and buffer manager deals with the maintaining the cache as well as recent storage. And when it comes to the query processor, so query processor contains DML compiler, which converts given DML queries into low-level language, which can be understood by the query evolution engine. And here also it is having a plan. That is, here we can go for using an optimizer, which will execute the query with the minimum cost. And then DDL interpreter, which executes the DDL queries and as well as update the data dictionary as well. So DDL interpreter, so this is responsible for maintaining the schema of a database. So again, in transaction management, we are having different components, that is transaction management component. So there is a concept of asset properties into the transaction. So for the complexity purpose, I will skip this part. But these are the properties. For example, A stands for the atomicity. म्हणजे एकतर माझे ॲटम म्हणजे इंडिव्हिजिबल, माझी ट्रान्झॅक्शन आयदर कम्प्लीट व्हायला पाहिजे किंवा नन ऑफ दॅट शुड कम्प्लीट. इट मीन्स एकदा 0 किंवा कम्प्लीट 1, 0 or 100%. So that is a atomicity. Atomicity, complete transaction should perform. So that is one of the property of the transaction. So that property should be followed by a transaction. That care is taken by the transaction management. Similarly, C stands for the consistency, I stands for the isolation, and D stands for the durability. Consistency, all the integrity rules are followed. Isolation, माझ्याकडे simultaneous access होत नाहीये, म्हणजे की isolation म्हणजे ती ट्रान्झॅक्शन बाकीच्या ट्रान्झॅक्शन पासून आयसोलेटेड आहे, so that I can have the correct result. And then durability, after the performing changes, that is after success of my transaction, I should be able to read the results into the next phase. It means results should be durable, permanent. And concurrency control manager, this deals with the simultaneous access of the data. Okay, so that database should also remain in the consistent state. So these are the properties of the transaction management. So again, we have seen the query execution. So where query is given to the parser and translator, where parser checks whether syntax is correct, and if so, translator then converts into the relational algebra expression. So relational algebra expression, so this is a low level expression. So which for a given query, there can be multiple parts, multiple plans can be there. म्हणजे एक problem I can solve in multiple ways. So out of that, optimizer will choose which one is with the better cost. Better cost, it means low cost. And then that plan will be given to the execution plan. So that execution plan will be withdrawn and that will be given to the evaluation engine. So evaluation engine is actually executing the query by accessing the database and then use the query output. So it means there are total 3 phases: parsing and translation, optimization, and evaluation. So these are the parts of the query processor. Now let us move to the database architectures. So there are different types of the database architectures are there. So first, database architecture is a centralized databases. So centralized databases, it means that to a single place I'm having my database and their memory is shared. So this can have few cores. It means core system can be there and memory is shared so that simultaneous users can access to the same system. So centralized database is having its own drawbacks. That is single point failure, then bottleneck. So these are the main two problems with this any centralized system, and that's why we move towards the distributed system. So centralized database, it can have a one to few cores. It means multi-processing units and shared memory. The next, client server. Client server, it means that here one server which is providing a service and clients are the machines which are accepting that service. Okay, so here processing is limited between servers and client. Server is having high configuration and clients are having lower configurations. But as clients are also having some part of the execution, the load on the server can be reduced. Okay, so here one server machine executes work on behalf of multiple client machines. Here it means that server is having maximum capacity, but clients can also have some up to some level execution steps. For example, right now we are having a total, consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 steps. So out of that, up to the part of the relational algebra, this can be provided to the client, and remaining optimizer to the execution plan and execution, that is database, I will provide to the server, and remaining tasks can be carried out at the server. It means whatever the complete execution is there, that is divided between the client and server. This is because client is having always a less capacity and remaining part of the execution is taken by the server. Okay, client and server. Here always mean that it is different from the centralized databases, and whatever the machine, centralized database मध्ये कसं की जे जे कोणी मेमरी यूज करतं, जे जे कोणी ऍक्सेस करतं, त्याला त्याच पॉइंटला तो डेटाबेस ऍक्सेस करावा लागतो. बट एका ठिकाणचा डेटाबेस मी जर 4 ठिकाणावरून यूज करत असेल, और आय एम ऍक्सेसिंग फॉर द 4 लोकेशन्स, then these 4 locations are connected to my single machine, that is a server, and server is able to give rights to the client. म्हणजे client सध्या लॉग इन करू शकतो अप टू सर्टन लेवल. 4 स्टेप्स पैकी एक स्टेप माझे क्लायंट कडे असते, 3 स्टेप माझ्या सर्व्हर कडे असते. So here the meaning is that server will not have a bottleneck problem as compared to the centralized databases. Centralized databases मध्ये A to Z काम प्रोसेसिंगचा centralized database मध्ये होतं. Whereas in case of client and server, some part is given to the client and remaining part is taken by the server. Next, parallel databases. So parallel databases, many core, shared memory is there, shared disk is there, and shared nothing. Hey, different architectures. Parallel databases. Parallel databases, it means that I'm having a backup of my consider university database. University database माझ्या या machine वर आहे. Same copy will be there on some another machine. Okay. So I will be handling 10 requests. Another machine will be handling 10 requests. Parallel databases, it means that parallelly both databases are getting updated. But here again concurrency is maintained. म्हणजे पॅरलल डेटाबेसेस मध्ये मेनी कोर शेअर्ड मेमरी म्हणजे काय की त्या दोघांमध्ये मेमरी शेअर्ड आहे आणि मल्टी प्रोसेसिंग मोर दॅन वन कोर आर देयर. when it is called as shared disk म्हणजे दोघांमध्ये एकच डिस्क कॉमन आहे and the same remote machine is accessed managed by some another server machine. And shared nothing, it means that my database is different, that database is different. Complete university database is divided into two parts. Half part is there on one machine and half part is there on the another machine. So parallel databases, here parallel databases both, it means multi, not only two, there can be multiple machines can be there and on them the same configuration machines will be there and both will have, all will have the high-end machines and databases. And the last one, which is widely used, distributed databases. Distributed databases, these are having the geographical distribution. It means that if I'm having one server in my Pandharpur, then another server can be in the Solapur and somewhere else. Okay, it means geographically the locations are different. And schema and data heterogeneity. Schema म्हणजे माझ्याकडे जे स्ट्रक्चर आहे ते दुसऱ्या सर्व्हरकडे असेल याची काही गॅरंटी नाही आणि माझ्याकडे इथं विंडोज आहे तिथं लिनक्स सुद्धा असू शकते. इट मीन्स प्लॅटफॉर्म इंडिपेंडन्सी सुद्धा इथं आहे. हेट्रोजेनिसिटी म्हणजे काय? हेट्रोजेनिटी, it means that it is not guaranteed that I'm having a student table here with 4 columns and with 80 rows. On another machine, I can have a student table with 8 columns and some another number of the records. Here, schema is different from one machine to the another, but they are referring to a same database. Okay, distributed database. This is having an advantage as high availability. Okay, high availability. समजा माझी एक मशीन जर ऑफ झाली बिकॉज ऑफ सम एनी प्रॉब्लेम, सिस्टम फेल्युअर or some catastrophe or any other reason, power failure, then another machine can make available data. Okay, and that's why distributed databases are most widely used form of the databases. Okay, so these are the different types of the database architectures are there. So this diagram already we have studied. So now here database applications. So whatever database applications are there, these are partitioned into 2 or 3 parts. 3 parts, it means that whatever the complete procedure is there, either 2 parts or either 3 parts. So first one, 2-tier architecture. So 2-tier architecture, it means that these are divided into 2 parts. The application resides at the client machine where it invokes database system functionality at the server machine. Okay, so this is same as the client server, whatever we have studied. 2-tier architecture, the application resides at the client machine. म्हणजे माझ्याकडे जिथे मी डेटाबेस यूज करणार आहे ते ऍप्लिकेशन माझ्या डेटाबेसवर असेल, पण डेटाबेस माझ्या सिस्टीमवर नाही. ओके, ओनली द ऍप्लिकेशन विच इज युजिंग दॅट डेटाबेस that is on the client machine. Then some part is on the available on the client machine and remaining processing will be done at the server machine. So let me show you the figure. So here this is a 2-tier architecture figure. So this one is a client machine and this one is a server machine. So user is using some application which user is using some application in order to use the database. Okay, so it means that whatever the query processing part is there, that is initiated at this point, but not complete. And over the network, the request is given, and from there it can access the database. Whereas 3-tier, okay, in case of 3-tier, the client machine acts as a front end, does not contain any direct database calls, and client end communicates with the application server usually through a form interfaces, and application server in turn communicates with the database system to access data. So 3-tier, here I'm having a 3-tier architecture. 3-tier architecture, a user, here it is using some application client. Yes, whatever the processing this application is having, that processing part is not available at this point. Okay, so over the network, this will send some data requirements, and here application server is able to perform some primary tasks, and then it will pass to the database system. So here the meaning is that इथं users मी वाढवू शकते, because here at the server initially I was having only database system, but right now I'm having application server and database system. So whatever the complete load on database system is there, म्हणजे जे काही query processing मधला जो माझ्या 5 phases जो part आहे, त्यांमधला काही पार्ट जो आहे that is covered by the application program. Application program माझ्या 5 टास्क पैकी पहिल्या 2 टास्क करून देते. So it means that application server 2 टास्क कंप्लीट केल्यामुळे डेटाबेस सिस्टमला फक्त 3च टास्क कंप्लीट करायला लागतात. ओके, इफ आय एम कन्सिडरिंग दॅट इन द डेटाबेस ऍक्सेस आय एम हॅव्हिंग 5 स्टेप्स. ओके, 5 स्टेप्स जर असतील तर इथून ज्या काही क्लायंट युजर क्लायंट मशीन असतात त्यांच्याकडे प्रोसेसिंग नसतं, म्हणजे मिनिमम प्रोसेसिंग. बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू रिक्वेस्ट कम्स टू द application server ती रिक्वेस्ट कन्वर्ट करून अप टू सर्टन लेवल सॉल्व करते, and then it is given to the database system. So it means that here the load on the database system got reduced, and hence if I go on increasing the client, still application program can take a load and database system can work faster. Okay, so it means that whenever it is come to the large network, ज्यावेळेस माझ्या क्लायंटची रिक्वायरमेंट जास्त वाढत जाते, सो ज्यावेळेस माझे क्लायंट वाढतात, म्हणजे क्लायंट वाढतात म्हणजे त्यांची मशीन्स वाढतात म्हणजे त्यांची कॉस्ट पण वाढते. पण ज्यावेळेस मी या आर्किटेक्चर मध्ये रेफर करते त्यावेळेस क्लायंट मध्ये प्रोसेसिंग लागतं. ओके, client should be able to perform a part of the processing. It means that the cost of this machine should be higher. But when it comes to this structure, the client ची जी माझी machine ची cost आहे that can be reduced because it doesn't require any high-end processing. Only application client, a simple application is required to access the database. But here, no processing is required. It means I can use a processor with the low cost, and application server is able to handle the more requests, and so that this type of the architecture is widely preferred in terms of web development, etc. Okay, जिथं जिथं web development वगैरे येतं, जिथं माझ्या क्लायंटची जास्त म्हणजे it means number of the clients are more. In that cases, this 3-tier architecture is much more preferred. Whereas if I'm going for the two-tier architecture, if limited number of the clients are there, then we can go for the 2-tier. Okay, so take a minute for reading this, and then we will move to the next point. So this is most widely asked question in case of architecture. Which one is preferred and why? So now the next part of the explanation, that is database users. So there are different, it means many users of the databases are there, but main user, it means based on the access to database, these users are divided into 4 categories. That is, first one is the naive users, application programmers, sophisticated users, and database administrator. Okay, so let us start with the naive users. Naive users, these are the users which are at all not computer trained users. Okay, just like I'm having opening for the government sites, and that's why those who are eligible, they can apply for the post. It means I need to go to the government site, open the form and fill the details. It means that here those users are using some application interfaces. म्हणजे त्या साईट यूज करतात डेटाबेस ऍक्सेस करण्यासाठी. ओके, अँड आफ्टर जनरेटिंग युजर नेम अँड आयडी, so they can go for uploading the documents, then getting the seat number, getting the hall ticket, etc. It means that here these are the users which are using some application interfaces in order to access the databases. So this one is the first type of the user. These are called as it means tailors, agent, web users. These all comes under this category. So these are using some application interfaces. Next, application programmers. Application programmers are well-known computer users. So these are writing some application programs in order to access a database. Okay, so application programmers, these can use other ends, just like for the MySQL, I can use a command prompt, and I can also use a GUIs where I need not to type the query, simply enter the data by using drag and drop. Okay, application programmers are well known with the programming languages, but may be available with the database knowledge or may not be aware about the database knowledge, but they know how to access a database by using a application program. So these are writing an application programs in order to access a database. Next, sophisticated users, analyst. So these are using some query tools in order to access a database. So just like users like us, which are using query tools. So we are actually very low level of this sophisticated users. Analysts, it means that whatever the data they are using, from that data, they are making some conclusions. Okay. Just like withdrawing a summary, giving the annual report, or giving or generating the monthly report. So it means that they are accessing the data. Some query tools are they are accessing, and by generating the or writing the query, they are generating some report. Okay, such users are called as a sophisticated users. And next, a database administrator. So database administrator, this is a single point of control for my database. So database administrators, these are using administrative tools for generating a structure of a database. Am I audible now clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
So here, database administrator. So this is a separate point we are having, but this is a main user of a database, which will decide the structure of my database. Then define who can use or database or what rights can given to the users. So let us see some functions into the next points, that is about these users. So all these are using their own way to access a database. Okay, just like name users, even though we are logging to some financial sites, for example, or any shopping site, then again we comes under this type of the users. Then application programs, whenever we are defining or writing some projects, at this point we again make use of some functions and some classes in order to access data. Then again we falls under this category. And if we use some query tools, just like if I'm using some MySQL tools or some another tools where I can write a query and get some conclusions, then we can fall under this category. And database administrator, so this is having more than data definition, some other tasks are also there. It means that whatever how much data I generated, that I need to maintain, plus I need to check whether enough space is there for the backup, etc. So let us see which are the extra functions of the database administrators. So before that, we are having some other points, that is before moving to the database administrator. So the next point is data mining and information retrieval. So this term mining may be familiar to you, just like we are having gold mining or any other mining, etc. Mining, it means that I'm having a large source of something, and from that I can extract a very small part of the information. The same goes for here. Okay, data mining, it means that here we are having a large amount of data, And from that data, we are making some conclusions, some patterns, or some rules we are withdrawing. Then that becomes a data mining. So let us see the definition. The term data mining refers loosely to a process of semi-automatically. Okay, this is not a complete automatic, neither a fully human intervention. It is a semi-automatically analyzing large databases to find useful patterns. Okay, so we have given a large amount of data, and from that we analyze some rules, or we find out some useful patterns. So like knowledge discovery in artificial intelligence, also called as a machine learning or statistical analysis, data mining attempts to recover rules and patterns from the data. Okay, for example, I'm having a data of some jewelry shop. Okay, and I have analyzed data of last 2 years. Okay, within the 2 years, whatever my customers are there, customers data, and then whatever the data, it means products which are sold. From that, I have come to the conclusion that the amount of earrings sold during Diwali is maximum. Okay, this is a rule. Okay, असं काही रूल नाहीये की माझ्या सगळेच्या सगळे इयरिंग त्या दिवाळीच्या फेस्टिवल मध्ये सोल्ड होतील. नो, बट हियर आफ्टर अनालायझिंग द डेटा आय कम टू द कन्क्लुजन दॅट द मॅक्सिमम sold out, that is maximum sell of the earrings taken place in the festival of Diwali. It means that during that period, that shop can go for a variety of earrings and can go for the maximum variety and maximum product length, so that with more offers the more sell can be there. But it is not mandatory that असं फिक्स रूल नाहीये की जो कस्टमर येईल तो फक्त इयरिंगच घेईल. नो, आणि जे कस्टमर आले ते दुसरे काही घेऊ शकतात, पण इयरिंग्स घेण्याची पॉसिबिलिटी जास्त आहे. सो इट मीन्स दॅट हियर आय हॅव फाइंड सम युजफुल पॅटर्न्स. ओके, युजफुल पॅटर्न्स इट मीन्स दॅट माझ्या सेलसाठी तो मी ऍज अ रूल म्हणून ऍज अ सेलसाठी तो मला एक युजफुल पॅटर्न मिळाला. Okay, that is one thing. Another, during the Rakhi festival, I can see that golden Rakhi is maximum in sale. Yes, of course, that is a festival of Rakhi, and maximum users will go for that. But here, I cannot make the conclusion that I will not sold any silver or any other items, etc. It means that here, whenever some data or large amount of data is given, we are finding some useful patterns. मग तो असा फिक्स रूल बनत नाही की ते होईलच किंवा 100% होईल. नो, बट हियर द चान्सेस ऑफ matching the data are 80 to 90%. It means that we can go for some publicity or uh, some other benefits. Okay, so here machine learning, when it comes to the machine learning, it means that here असे जे काही rules आहेत, those we are finding out, we will make machine to learn those rules. Okay, so those rules are not a part of single or twice, म्हणजे एका आणि दुसऱ्या ह्याचे ऑब्झर्वेशनचे कन्क्लुजन नसतात, त्याच्या मागे लार्ज डिस्कवरी असते, and then those rules can be applied. So in case of artificial intelligence, whenever machine is learning, at this point much more data is given to that machine so that machine can learn. Yes, after happening this, after giving AB, I'm getting C as output. It means that I will check with applying AB for thousands times, how much times I will get a C as output. So okay, it is not mandatory कि C output is मिळेल. But here the maximum conclusion can be given that after applying the AB, 80% of the time, if I'm getting C, it means that becomes my useful pattern. Okay, so in this way, we can train the machine that yes, in such of the cases, we can apply C as output. If C is not working, next chances are D is getting output for 10%, then we can apply D as a solution. Okay, so it means that here we are discovering some rules. Data mining, so this mining is taken, it means data mining is done on the large amount of data. Okay, so this is regarding data mining. Next, data mining differs from machine learning and statistics, that it deals with a large volume of data and stored primarily on the disk. That is, data mining deals with the knowledge discovery in databases. Sorry, here information retrieval, I forgot to add the definition. Information retrieval. Information retrieval, it means that this is different from the data mining. Information retrieval, it means that just like I open the Google and then I type database system concept, and from there I can get a many number of the outputs are there. So information retrieval, it means that I'm typing some keywords, and based on those keywords I will get some information, and from that large amount of information Google returns me around lakhs of lakhs output for a single keyword. Okay, एक single keyword टाकला की माझ्याकडे खूप साऱ्या definitions येतात, and from those definitions whatever required for me is there, I will retrieve that. So that is called as information retrieval. Information retrieval मध्ये माझ्याकडे few keywords असतात आणि database large असतो, आणि from that large databases I can get a whatever is required. पण तिथे काही फिक्स नाहीये की बाबा माझ्याकडे एखादा पॅटर्न मिळेल, एखादा रूल मिळेल. नो, दॅट इज डन इन केस ऑफ अ डेटा मायनिंग. Next comes as a specialty databases. So specialty databases, these are different from our relational databases. So several applications areas of a database systems are limited by the restrictions of a data model. We have seen the number of data models just like relational data, relational model, ER model. So only these two partially we have seen the explanation, but whatever these are there, but all applications cannot work on these types of data. So that's why we are going beyond this data models, and that's why specialty databases are there. So one of that is object-based data model. So object, this refers to a word, that is an instance of a class in terms of programming languages. So whatever object-oriented programming languages are there. So when the databases were invented, at this point, object-oriented programming languages much more dominating. Okay, because of its features, just like inheritance, its encapsulation, etc. So through it means because it is dominating, so decided that based on this a data model should be designed. Okay, so the data model which is designed on the keeping the features of object oriented programming language, that is called as an object oriented data model. So object oriented data model, this is invented after having the it means which implements the features of OOPS. Okay, so OOPS features contains encapsulation, methods, object identity, inheritance. So whatever OOPS features are there, these are extended with case of in case of ER model. म्हणजे ER model मध्ये त्यातले काही features implement झालेले आहेत in extended version, encapsulation and methods, and remaining are not invented, but in case of object-oriented data models, these are involved, just like object identity and inheritance. Next, then relational data model is there. So relational data model also become much more popular. So researchers decided that we will combine object-based, that is object-oriented data model, and relational data model, and we'll go for a new data model, that is object relational data model. So a data model that combines features of object-oriented data model and relational data model. Here, relational keyword is remaining. So that is called as a object relational data model, which is having a relational structure, but also supports a object-oriented features. So among that, we are having example of PostgreSQL, which supports inheritance and also supports a relational databases also. इनहेरिटन्स म्हणजे एका टेबलच्या प्रॉपर्टीज मी दुसऱ्या टेबल मध्ये इन्व्हॉल्व करू शकते. एखादा बॅकग्राऊंडला फंक्शन लिहून एका कॉलमची व्हॅल्यू मी सेट करू शकते. ओके, सो इट मीन्स दॅट व्हॉट एव्हर द मेथड्स, एनकॅप्सुलेशन मी एखादा युजर डिफाईन टाईप, जसं की माझा क्लास आहे प्रोग्रामिंग लँग्वेजेस मध्ये, स्टुडंट मध्ये मला रोल नंबर हवा, म्हणजे आता आपले डेटा टाईप कुठले कुठले असतात, इंट असतं, कॅरेक्टर असतं, स्ट्रिंग असतं, तसं मला स्वतःचा डेटा टाईप डिफाईन करायचं. इट मीन्स ऑब्जेक्ट म्हणजे क्लासचे फीचर्स आहेत की युजर डिफाईन डेटा टाईप. Similarly, in case of PostgreSQL, we can define our own types and also can go for defining functions, can also go for implementing features like inheritance, etc. Okay, but that is a part of your modern database systems. In the current database system, you are having only limited, that is only relational databases are there. Next, semi-structured data models. So semi-structured data model, just like in case of relational data model, टेबल स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये माझ्याकडे फक्त कॉलम्स आणि रोजच आहेत. सो प्रत्येक रेकॉर्डचं जे स्ट्रक्चर आहे ते फिक्स आहे. इट मीन्स same number of the columns, 4 columns, each of having the same type. Semi-structured data model, there can be some extra attributes, म्हणजे एक्स्ट्रा रूल्स असे असू शकतात, एक्स्ट्रा इन्फॉर्मेशन असू शकते की जी फक्त लिमिटेड डेटाला अप्लाय होती, लिमिटेड रेकॉर्डला अप्लाय होती. इन दॅट केस वी कॅन गो फॉर डिझायनिंग आवर ओन टाइप, स्पेसिफिकेशन ऑफ इंडिव्हिज्युअल डेटा आयटम्स ऑफ द सेम टाइप. प्रत्येकाला वेगवेगळे सेट ऑफ अट्रिब्यूट्स असू शकतात, अँड दॅट्स वाय सेमी स्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा मॉडेल्स आर देयर. So semi-structured data models permit the specification of data where individual data items of same type may have different set of attributes. म्हणजे माझ्याकडे एक पर्सन आहे, म्हणजे एक स्टुडंट म्हणून मी एका ए स्टुडंटची इन्फॉर्मेशन सेव्ह केली आणि अजून एक स्टुडंट आहे बी. दॅट स्टुडंट बी इज हॅव्हिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन. देन ए कॅन हॅव टाइप ऑफ कॉलम्स एज 4. ए चे 4 कॉलम आहेत. देन बी कॅन हॅव 4, 5 or 3 also. It means A चा data, A ची information वेगळी and B's information is different. So it means A and B both are student, but they can have different set of different type of information with them. म्हणजे दोघांमध्ये different set of attributes आहेत, वेगवेगळे column आहेत. So this is in context with the data model mentioned earlier, where every data item of the particular type must have the same set of attributes. जसे की आपण instructorचे example बघितलं, त्याच्यामध्ये 4च column आहेत, सगळ्याच्या सगळ्या instructorला same information. Then that can be different in terms of a semi-structured data model. So here it is making use of a XML language. XML language XML language याच्यामध्ये की मार्कअप इन्फॉर्मेशन टू द टेक्स्ट डॉक्युमेंट ऍड करण्यासाठी डिझाइन केली होती, बट दॅट कॅन बी युज्ड फॉर द सेमी स्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा मॉडेल. सो दिस इज रिगार्डिंग अ specialty databases. Have a look at this so that I will know whether any point you want to repeat. Now let us move to the next point, that is database administrator. So in the users, remaining whatever new users are there, application programs are there, and sophisticated users. So these are having their own level of the rights. But when it comes to the database administrator, this is having much more tasks in terms of database as compared to the other users. So let us see what are the different tasks or functions of a database administrator. So a person who has central control over the system is called as a database administrator. So central control, it means that this is a single person who can control everything on my database. So these are the functions of a database administrator. So first one is the schema definition. Schema definition, it means within a database, how many columns should be there? First question, how many tables should be there? Within a table, which column should be added? What should be the data type? What rules we are applying? So all these tasks become a part of schema definition. So this is a function of database administrator, how to define the schema. Next, storage structure and access method definition. So access method definition, whether should be access should be allowed on the same machine or remote machine should be allowed. Storage structure, which data structure should be used for storing the databases. That is a physical structure. That is again decided by the database administrator. Then next, schema and physical organization modification. It means when it comes to the schema, म्हणजे असं नाही की आज या वर्षी मी माझा डेटाबेस डिझाइन केला आणि पुढच्या वर्षी काहीतरी रिक्वायरमेंट आली, then database also allows for the applying the new rules किंवा schema modification, म्हणजे आहे त्या स्ट्रक्चरला आपण मॉडिफाय करू शकतो. And physical organization modification, consider that right now I'm using, that is in early days we were using some other means of storing the data, just like magnetic tapes or some other types of the memory. But now we are having the hard disk, it means which can use a high efficient memory. So here I can go for using some secondary disk or some high end storing devices. So this modification also can be done by a database administrator. Next, granting of authorization for data access. So who should be able to access my data? That is also decided by the database administrator. Then here we can have different types of the users. म्हणजे एक role असू शकतो आणि दुसरा एक person असू शकतो. For example, if I'm logged into the system by using SS Kadam and some password, it means that that right is given to a individual. म्हणजे मला एकटीला तो right दिलेला आहे. Then other can be a right as a staff, student or some another. Then here the staff becomes a role. त्या रोलला एक मी set of functions देणार. Then when it comes to the student, a set of functions किंवा set of rights. म्हणजे जो जो कोणी स्टुडंटच्या कॅटेगरीमध्ये येतो त्याला तो ते सगळे रूल्स अप्लाय होतात. जो जो कोणी स्टाफच्या कॅटेगरीमध्ये येतो त्याला सेट ऑफ रूल्स जो एकाला असाइन केलेला आहे स्टाफला तो सगळ्यांना जे जे कोणी स्टाफ म्हणून रजिस्टर करणार, all those can have those rights. So okay, and when it comes to the individual as a user also, the database administrator can decide which rights to be given. म्हणजे individual level ला ही rights दिले जाऊ शकतात किंवा as a role म्हणून सुद्धा rights दिले जाऊ शकतात. Then next, routine maintenance. Routine maintenance, just like keeping the backup, checking whether routine maintenance म्हणजे जो काय आता रिसेंट डेटा आहे तो मला अवेलेबल करून द्यायचं का एका क्वेरी थ्रू होतं. देन रुटीन मेंटेनन्स, व्हॉट एव्हर द पार्टिशनिंग इज देअर. पार्टिशनिंग म्हणजे लास्ट 3 इयरचा डेटा बॅकला जावा आणि करंट इयरचा डेटा पुढे यावा. देन इट मीन्स दॅट रुटीन मेंटेनन्स, व्हॉट एव्हर द schema definition or updations are there as compared to the time, that is also done by a routine maintenance. म्हणजे काही टाइम बेस्ड पण डेटा असतात, काही काही पिरियडिकली, म्हणजे जसं की मी आज लेक्चर घेतलं, मी अटेंडन्स मेंटेन करणार. सो इट मीन्स दॅट व्हॉट एव्हर रुटीन मेंटेनन्स इज देअर as a staff I should do it. So it means that when it comes to the database administrator, he is having its own routine task that is also done. The next, periodically backup of database, backup वेळच्या वेळेला database मेंटेन करायचं. Ensuring that enough free disk space is available for the normal operations and upgrading disk space as required. So जर माझ्याकडे फ्री डिस्क असेल then available आहे की नाही that should be ensured, and upgrading the disk space. जर नसेल तर available करून द्यायचं. Monitoring jobs running on a database. So monitoring whether any data leak is not there, that is also done by a database administrator. So these are the tasks of a database administrator. now let us move to the last point. So before moving to the last point, you can have a look on this point. So now let us move to the last point of this chapter, that is history of database systems. So databases were invented in early 1950s and 1950s and early 1960s. So here data processing was done by using magnetic tapes, that is for the storage. And here we can only go for accessing the sequential access. So when it comes to the consider, I have stored 1 to 10 numbers, then in order to access a 10, we cannot go directly after 1, 2, 3, 4 and up to, it means serially only we can have access to that data. Just like in the some movies also the magnetic tapes were shown. So you might have seen. Then punch cards for the input. Punch cards for the input, it means that here uh, these are a special device for inputting the data. So whatever the information is there, so that we can store on that, just like floppy disk, etc. And then it can be given as input. So these are having capacity very less, up to some few KB or max up to MB. Okay. Next, in late 1960s and 70s, hard disk allowed direct access to data. So here the main revolution began, that is hard disk. And also the processor revolution also began in 1960s. Okay, late 1960s. Because of the hard disk, the complete computer world began to change. That is high processing speed, direct access, random access. That becomes a, it means from dream this started become to reality. So network and hierarchical data models were widespread in use. So Ted code defined relational data model at this point. So here initially these two were the most widely used, but as soon as the Ted code defined this relational model, so this again began to change the era of the database system. So this has won the Turing Award for his work, and IBM Research began to System R prototype. So previously the name was the relational database systems were System R. Okay, just like we are calling relational databases. So this was initially a System R prototype. So UC Berkeley, that is Michael Stonebreaker, begins Ingress prototype. Then the new name for the SQL, Ingress. Old name for the SQL, and Oracle releases first commercial relational databases. Okay, so here the high professional era was for the transaction processing. There a term transaction was introduced. Then next in 1980s, research relational prototype evolved in commercial systems. So SQL began to industrial standards. Then parallel and distributed systems were also began to explore. So here IBM, Teradata, Viscosym, etc. These are begun to give more and more distributed data systems. Then object-oriented database systems were also introduced in 1990s. Large decision support system, data mining applications, large multi-terabyte data warehouses, and emerge of the web companies. So these are the revolutions of a database which began in 1990s. Then next, in 2000, big data storage systems were invented, and also the term NoSQL, this was also invented. So here, whatever Google, Yahoo, and Amazon are there, so these are producing large customer data. So because of which whatever relational systems were there, these are having the fixed structure of storing the information. म्हणजे जो रिलेशनल माझा डेटाबेस होता त्याच्यामध्ये फिक्स स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये माझ्याकडे इन्फॉर्मेशन सेव्ह असायचे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, इफ आय एम having any product on my Amazon. Okay, on the Amazon I can see the picture, I can see the text. म्हणजे की या सगळ्याच्या व्हॅल्यूज आहेत त्याला मी कुठल्या वेने रिप्लाय करेल म्हणजे जो कस्टमरचा जो डेटा आहे तो कुठल्याही प्रकारचा असू शकतो. I can pass any comment in the text, I can pass any GIF file or I can pass any video. It means जो काय रिस्पॉन्स आहे तो डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्डच असेल किंवा फिक्स फॉर्मॅट मध्येच असेल, हे काय फिक्स नव्हतं. ओके, अँड दॅट्स वाय जो काय कस्टमरच्या कमेंट्सचा किंवा रिप्लायचा किंवा प्रोडक्ट रिव्ह्यूचा जो डेटा प्रोड्यूस झाला दॅट इज अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड ॲज वेल ॲज इन लार्ज अमाउंट. ओके, and that's why big data storage systems were involved, and that was beyond the SQL. Okay, so no SQL, it means that not only SQL. Okay, फक्त SQL च नाही तर माझ्याकडे SQL च्या beyond zone these were having the capacity. Okay, then it also introduced the concept of MapReduce and friends. MapReduce where this is a term in a big data. And the next in 2010 SQL reloaded, so SQL front end for the MapReduce systems, massively parallel database systems, and multi-core main memory databases. So SQL again began to use in web developments or some MapReduce, etc. And in case of data mining and other Python related languages also, this was used. So multi-core main memory database also began to use a SQL. Here SQL language is expanded. Okay, it means it began to give some analysis based on the data, and that's why other systems also began to use a SQL. So at this point, I can see that we have reached to the end of the chapter. So I am unable to show you the first this slide. I don't know why it doesn't take a so this was the complete syllabus. So whenever I'm trying to expand this only shows the next slide. It doesn't show the syllabus slide. That's why I've shown you the complete slide. So you can read the contents and let me know whether out of these all points, whether you are willing to repeat any of the points to me. If no, still we will take a last review and then we'll move to the next chapter. So please have a look at this point, or first I will show you the history of a database. First I will show you database administrator. So you can ask question in the chat window also, no problem. So okay, I will wait for 1 more minute and I will give only few lines about each of the points. So, okay, now I will revise all the points. So first one, database system application. So here we have seen in which areas database systems can be used. So there, every enterprise use a database system. For example, when it comes to the manufacturing, regarding storing the information about the dealers, products, sales, and finance and human resource. For this purpose, database systems are used. In case of airlines, for schedules and reservations, database systems are used. In case of university, regarding the courses, students, and other elements, database systems are used. And in case of banking and finance also, for customers and that is transactions, etc., database systems are used. So database systems provides the asset properties and also a transaction, that is databases are having its own purpose for that is file system is not used because it suffers from different drawbacks, and that's why database systems were invented. So first purpose, that is ease of access, that is we can easily access the data in databases. And when it comes to the file system, we are having difficulty in accessing the data. The next, for providing the updates, integrity constraints, update karala, we are having problem in case of file system. And whenever we wanted to access the data, we may need to go for different files. Screen paused. Actually, I'm moving. I'm having on the same screen. Okay, I will move to the next. That is so that you will know that yes, I'm having the screen. So this is a database systems. So we have seen this example regarding the student example we have taken. The next, enterprise information, that is applications, sales, accounting, human resource, manufacturing, banking and finance, universities, airlines, telecommunication, web-based services, document databases, navigation system. Everywhere the databases are used. Now purpose, data redundancy is there and inconsistency is also there. Data redundancy, the same data is stored in different files, and because of which the data may be inconsistent. Inconsistent, that is may not be same in the all places. Okay, just like we have seen the example of the address. If my data is spread across the 2 or more than 2 locations, then my new address can be reflected only one copy. Another copy may not get updated, and that's why it may lead to the inconsistent databases. म्हणजे माझा address जर मी retrieve करायला गेले, then I can have 2 values. It means that it becomes a inconsistent data. Then difficulty in accessing data, because in order to access data, either we need to write new application program or we need to go for getting the data manually. Then data isolation. Isolation, it means that we can have multiple files and formats in case of file system, but when it comes to the data isolation in terms of database, by a single query we can access data from multiple tables. Integrity problem. So wherever we are having data matching with the real life, we can put such real life restrictions on a data in database. For example, for the voting, you should have age limit to be 18. Then whenever we are trying to enter details into the file, it doesn't restrict me whether the person is having age 18 or less than 18. But when it comes to the database, we can put some restriction that whenever a user is registering for the voting, then he or she should have age as 18. So age limit we can put on the restriction, we can put on the database. Then atomicity of updates, all updates or none of them. Concurrent access by multiple users. Security problems, because access can be controlled in case of database, but not in case of file systems. The next, there are different data models. So data model is a way of defining the structure. That is how a database can be defined. So this is a tool which consists of data relationship, data semantics and constraints. So there are different data models: relational model, ER model, object-based, semi-structured, and network and hierarchical. Then relational model. So relational model, this is widely used database model, which is having a relation which consists of columns and rows. Columns refers to the type of the data and rows refers to the records. So rows we can call in different terms. Rows la मी records म्हणू शकते and tuple, TUPLE. Tuple is also a synonym for the row in the database. So these are the sample relations. Then view of the data, where a data is given to the user, only abstract data is given to the users. So there are three levels: logic, physical level, logical level, and view level. So physical level deals with what, that is how the data should be stored. Logical level deals with the what data to be stored. So this deals with the data structures which are used for storing the data. Logical level, the schema definition, म्हणजे conceptual design. माझ्याकडे कुठला टेबल असायला हवा, कुठले कॉलम्स त्या टेबल मध्ये हवे, डेटा टाइप काय हवा, that is defined at the logical level. And view level, only a limited part of the data is shown as per the view, that is only part of the information is shown, so that a single table or single database can have multiple views based on the type of the user. The next, instances and schemas. So instances, the particular data values at a point of time, we can say that that is an instance. And schemas, the overall structure of the database can be called as a schema. So logical schema, the schema at logical level, and physical schema, overall physical structure of a database can be called as a physical schema. So instance, actual contents of a database at particular point in time. So just like right now, date is today is 12th of October. Then the date becomes 12th day. Then tomorrow I can have another instance. Tomorrow I can have 13 as a date. It means at today I can have 12 as a data, and tomorrow I will have 13 as a data. So instance at a moment of time, what is the value? That is the instance. Physical data independence. So at this level, whenever we are able to modify the logical level without modifying the physical level, then it becomes a physical data independence. If we are able to modify the physical level without modifying the logical level, then again this is this is also data independence, physical data independence and logical data independence. Next, we have studied database languages, DDL and DML. So these are the two types of languages which are used. So DDL for data definition, what data to be stored, and DML is used for actually storing the records. So here, this is a query for the DDL, which defines there should be a table with name instructor, and these are the columns with respective types. So again, there are other tasks of the DDL are also there, that is applying the constraints and authorization. And in case of manipulation, two tests of the DML, procedural DML and non-procedural DML. Example for the procedural, relational algebra, and for the non-procedural, domain and tuple relational calculus. So SQL query language, so this uses relational algebra at the back as a model, but this is a non-procedural query language. Only gives what data to be accessed without giving how the data should be accessed. So procedure is not given, how to access the data. So here this is a sample query for the SQL. So application programs can be also used in order to access data through the database, that is by using embedded SQL, or we can also go for other programming languages and adding the code of the database by using application programming interfaces, JDBC, ODBC. Then next, database access from application programs. We can use APIs for this. Here, use of application programs is required just because SQL is insufficient. Just like for taking the runtime data from the user, then passing the information over the network, or we cannot use some means to display the output, etc. Okay, yes, query output is there, but Just like we are displaying right now, there is average of marks of the all students at the 70. Then average marks of the student. This statement also I wanted to print, and marks whatever value I am getting, that also I wanted to print. Okay, such outputs we cannot generate from the SQL. Okay. Um, the next, database design. So again, two levels design, that is physical design, dealing with the physical layout of the database, and logical design regarding business, taking business decision, and as well as computer science decision. The next, database engine. So this is having different components, that is storage manager, query processor, and transaction management component. Storage manager includes components like authorization and integrity manager, transaction manager, file manager, and buffer manager. So authorization and integrity checks whether right user is accessing the data, and also the operation is allowed or not. Integrity checks whether after this database access also the database remains in consistent state, एका valid state मध्ये राहतो का नाही. That is also done by the integrity manager. कुठला rule तर violate होत नाही ना. And in case of transaction manager, if I'm performing any transaction, so whatever the properties of transaction are there, that should be followed. म्हणजे ट्रान्झॅक्शनच्या प्रॉपर्टी जसे की ॲटोमिसिटी, ऍसिड प्रॉपर्टीज आहेत, ते सगळं फॉलो झालं पाहिजे. दॅट इज अ टास्क ऑफ ट्रान्झॅक्शन मॅनेजमेंट. फाइल मॅनेजर डील्स विथ स्पेस अँड बॅकअप्स. बॅकअप नाही, फक्त स्पेस, अलोकेटिंग द फाइल स्पेस. And buffer manager deals with the cache, where recent access data or frequent access data can be found and maintained by the buffer manager. So storage manager also implements several data structures, that is data files, that is actual databases, data dictionary, and indices. So data dictionary, this is holding the schema structure and information about the databases. Indices, these are the data structures which are used for the fast access of the fast retrieval of the data. For example, I wanted to search database keyword into my book. So I will go to the last part, check whether database word is there. If database word is found, it means within the index, then I can go to the directly page number. So in case of database also, the same thing happens. So in the query, if I'm writing select name from instructor where department name equal to computer science, okay, computer science department existing here, so it can be find out into the index and directly go for the value. But computer science, I'm giving some another spelling. For example, I'm passing for the arts department. म्हणजे समजा की आर्ट्स डिपार्टमेंट मी फाइंड आउट करते इन माय डिपार्टमेंट्स रिलेशन. सो इट विल चेक इनटू द इंडेक्स. इंडेक्स मध्ये मला कुठेही आर्ट्स वर्ड दिसला नाही. इट मीन्स because that department doesn't exist, and that's why that keyword is not available into my index of the book. Okay, if it is not found, then I can make the conclusion that yes, that word is not available into my notebook. So it means that at the index level, index size as compared to the database is very less, and that's why at a very early stage only I can make the conclusion that yes, that word is not available into my database. So when it comes to the manual access, म्हणजे ज्यावेळेस मी complete database access करते arts word find out करण्यासाठी, then I need to completely access a database instructor relation or department relation, which can be having a large size. As compared to that, index is having very less size, and that's why fast access can be done by using a index. Then query processor. Query processor components include DDL interpreter for interpreting the DDL statements, and as well as maintaining definitions into data dictionary, DML compiler, which is responsible for translating DML statements into low-level language and generating the evaluation plan. So evaluation plan, this is a plan in which we can mention that is, it mentions how the query can be executed. So for a single query, there can be multiple plans can be there. And that's why query evaluation engine can make a use of query optimization where the best plan is chosen from the given plans. The next query evaluation engine, which is responsible for executing the low level instruction generated by the DML compiler. So query evaluation engine is responsible for executing the query. Then query processing steps, parsing and translation. Parsing checks whether syntax is correct where we are having the parser tree, and within that structure, if my given definition is correctly get settled, it means that the syntax is correct. If not, then we can give a syntactical error or some error regarding the query is not correct, etc. And if query is correct, then it can go for the translation. So translation, this is done from, that is a SQL query command, which is in higher level language, is converted to the lower level language. So here, this is converted into relational algebra expressions. So relational algebra expressions. So for a single query, we can have multiple expressions. And from those expressions, optimizer will choose one of them. Okay, as there are multiple expressions are there for single query, optimizer by using the statistical data will check whether each of the expression how much time it takes and which complex operation it need to perform. So for that purpose, out of that, then comes the best one from the complete choice, that is best one with low in cost and high in speed and with the less cost, that is complex operation. And that's why that execution plan is given to the evaluation engine, and evaluation engine will execute this query by accessing a database and then will pass the query output. Transaction management. So transaction, this is a single logical function or operation in database application where multiple database access can be there. So here we have seen the example of transferring some amount from one account to the another, or performing a recharge of a cell phone, or ordering some product from the net. So it means that how this transaction can be carried out and what should be the that is what is meant by atomicity here. So transaction management components. So these are also providing a database with the consistent state. Even though we can go for a transaction, so it maintains a database in a consistent state. And also concurrency control manager is responsible for accessing simultaneous access of multiple users to the same data. So still its responsibility is to keep a database into a consistent state. The next different types of the database architectures: centralized databases, client server, parallel databases, and distributed databases. So this is a figure for centralized or shared memory databases. So this is a general structure where we can see the query processor and storage manager and components of the both of them, and disk storage also. Then database applications. So these can be of two types: two-tier architecture and three-tier. In two-tier, we can have a client machine which is having functionality, and server machine takes a part of the execution. And in case of three-tier, client machine is having minimum functionality and using database server is using an application server for processing a part of system and then providing the results. So in case of large systems, three-tier architecture is preferred. Different types of the database users: new users, application programs, sophisticated users, and database administrators. So then next we see the concept of data mining and information. Data mining, it means that we need to access a large amount of data, and from that we find out the useful patterns. So useful patterns, so these are used for some publicity or some increasing the sales, or some making some conclusions. So again, this term is related to the machine learning as well as artificial intelligence, but here data mining deals with the knowledge discovery within a databases, and information retrieval, that is based on some keywords we retrieve some information. So okay, for this example, I would like to refer to give you some example. So if consider I'm writing here database system. Okay, so here as you can see the Google result. Okay, so here it will highlight me what is much more matching with this, and whenever I go to the next results, you can see what your database and system, these two words will be written into bold letters. It means that this are the matching keywords. म्हणजे माझ्या या क्वेरीला हे रिझल्ट्स मॅच करतात, म्हणजे जिथे जिथे मॅचिंग जास्त होतं ते रिझल्ट्स मला दिले जातात. ओके, if I'm writing here concept 6th edition. Okay, so if I'm giving this, it means that whatever the my outputs will be there within that, out of all these keywords, या सगळ्या keywords पैकी जिथे जिथे matching keyword आहे ते answer मला दिले जातात. Okay, so here database is matching, this will give me the result. So म्हणजे या keywords पैकी जितकं matching जास्त तितके म्हणजे तो रिझल्ट सगळ्यात पहिल्यांदा फाइंड आउट दिला जातो. इफ कन्सिडर फॉर दिस क्वेरी आउट ऑफ 100 99 युजर्स आर युजिंग दिस आउटपुट, म्हणजे समजा 100 जणांनी जर ती क्वेरी टाकली असेल आणि त्या क्वेरीला म्हणजे त्या कीवर्डच्या सेटला समजा त्या 100 पैकी 90 लोकांनी ही साइट प्रेफर केलेली आहे, मग गुगल काय करतं की हा जो रिझल्ट सेट आहे म्हणजे हे जे काय रिझल्ट आहे तो सगळ्यात वर आणून टॉपला आणून देतं. हा सगळ्यात आधी रिझल्ट आला म्हणजे काय की फक्त एवढ्या लोकांची क्वेरी नाहीये, तर याच्यानंतर खूप सारे क्वेश्चन्स जनरेट झालेले, अँड दॅट्स वाय दिस इज गिव्हिंग मी दिस ॲज अ फर्स्ट ऑप्शन. बट हिअर ऑलवेज मॅचिंग इज बेस्ड ऑन द कीवर्ड्स. इथं कीवर्ड्सच्या मॅचिंगवर मला दिलं जातं. सो राईट नाव कन्सिडर आय एम गोइंग फॉर द कीवर्ड लाईक फॉर एक्झाम्पल consider that याच्यामधून मी पॉइंट घेतला की डेटाबेस युजर्स अँड ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स. ओके, हो मग इथं मला डेफिनेशन्स यायला चालू करतात की डेटाबेस युजर्स अँड ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स, डेटाबेस युजर्स अँड युजर्स, इथं मला कुठले कुठले आन्सर्स मिळू शकतात. सो इट मीन्स दॅट अगेन दिस इज युजिंग फॉर अ कीवर्ड. Based on the keywords, this will give me the results. Okay, information retrieval म्हणजे काय आहे की माझा जो कम्प्लीट डेटाबेस आहे त्याच्यामधून डेटा विड्रॉ करण्यासाठी मी काहीतरी कीवर्ड्सचा यूज करते, आणि त्याच्या बेसिसवर हे कम्प्लिटली अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा आहे माझा. म्हणजे मला माहिती नाही की इथं माझा एक वेब पेज एका फाईल आहे, इथं माझं एखादा वेब पेज एका फाईल आहे, जिथे जिथं अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड माझा डेटा असतो इथं मी कुठलाही पॅटर्न फाइंड आउट करत नाही किंवा कुठलाही नॉलेज डिस्कवर करत नाही. मला काय हवंय की हा पॉइंट आहे, या पॉइंट विषयी मला माहिती हवी. ओके, सो that is how information retrieval works. Another screen is not visible. How that can be? I am sharing the complete screen. Wait a minute. So now is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I thought complete screen is shared. That's why I was giving the query outputs. So याच्यामध्ये it means जो काय माझा कीवर्ड आहे त्याच्या बेसिसवर जेवढे जेवढे माझे वर्ड्स मॅच करतात त्या बेसिसवर मला हे मिळतं की रिप्लाय मिळतो की बाबा या क्वेरीला म्हणजे या पॉइंटला मॅक्सिमम आन्सर रेफर्ड इज दिस और दिस वन और XYZ. So here database administrator, if consider out of 100, it means Google users are in lakhs and tons of lakhs, but out of those it based on the output. म्हणजे या क्वेरीला या समजा कीवर्डला जर समजा मी 10th नंबरचा रिझल्ट जर जास्त प्रेफर केला, आउट ऑफ लाख कन्सिडर 10,000 युजर्स आर युजिंग दिस ॲज अ आउटपुट, म्हणजे ह्या आन्सरला ते सॅटिस्फाय झाले. मग ही जे काय आउटपुट आहे म्हणजे ही जी काय लिंक आहे ती परत टॉपला आणून दिली जाते बाय द गुगल. सो इट मीन्स दॅट गुगल इज मेकिंग द knowledge discovery that out of 100 users 10 users are using this and only remaining 80 are using this or xyz. So it means that if based on this, if it is making some conclusion that yes, for this query user is accessing top at most, this is this query or this page is accessed, it means that this will keep this at the start. So that data is generated by the Google. But when it comes to the data mining म्हणजे काय की माझ्याकडे लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ डेटा आहे त्यातून काहीतरी मी कन्क्लुजन करते. ओके, सो दॅट इज द मीनिंग. फॉर एक्झाम्पल माझ्याकडे म्हणजे एक बाईकचं शोरूम आहे आणि बाईकच्या शोरूम मध्ये किंवा एक स्टेशनरी शॉप आहे आणि स्टेशनरी शॉप मध्ये ओके स्टेशनरी शॉप अँड इन टर्म्स ऑफ सेल्स त्या स्टेशनरी शॉपचा सेल्सचा सर्वे केला आणि विथिन दॅट survey has come to the conclusion that the first year students of Gopalpur are maximally buying the drafter in the month of July. म्हणजे जुलै महिन्यात इंजिनिअरिंगचे स्टुडंट ड्राफ्टर परचेस करतात. सो इट मीन्स दॅट देअर मॅक्सिमम सेल इज ड्युरिंग दॅट मंथ ऑफ जुलै. सो इट मीन्स दॅट दे कॅन मेक दिस कन्क्लुजन नॉट ओनली वन म्हणजे फक्त जुलै महिन्यामध्ये जास्त झाला म्हणून त्यांनी ऑगस्ट मध्ये जर समजा तेवढा मोठा स्टॉक जर आणून ठेवला तर तो काही कामाचा नसतो. जुलैमध्ये त्यांना जर सप्लाय म्हणजे डिमांड जर कम्प्लीट करू शकले नाही तर possibilities that in terms of August also I can have few customers or those customer can move to some another shop also. But if from the last 10 years of data I come to the conclusion that in terms of July the maximum students are demanding for the drafter, then in terms of हा रूल मी 10 वर्षाच्या अनालिसिस वर बनवला, then it means that in the month of the July, in other months I'm having only few 50 or 60 drafters in my shop, but when it comes to July I can reach up to the 500 or 200 in terms of the count, and then whenever student asks I can provide them. So it means that इथं मी हा रूल यूज केला की मॅक्सिमम परचेस माझं जुलै महिन्यामध्ये होत आहे and demand is also there. It means that I will increase the सेल्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ जुलै. जुलैमध्ये मी माझा स्टॉक पण वाढवेन आणि सेल्स पण माझं वाढवेन. तर इन टर्म्स ऑफ ऑगस्ट माझ्याकडे चेक करेन की माझ्याकडे किती आहेत. इफ देर आर 20 to 30 I will not ask for the new stock. I will keep on dragging it up to the next year. So it means here we are using some data in order to large data in order to extract some pattern. काहीतरी पॅटर्न विथड्रॉ करण्यासाठी मी हा डेटा यूज केलाय. बट दॅट डझंट बिकम्स अ युनिव्हर्सल रूल. तो काही युनिव्हर्सल रूल नाही बनत की म्हणजे माझे ड्राफ्टर फक्त जुलै महिन्यातच विकले जातात आणि येणारा प्रत्येक कस्टमर हा ड्राफ्टरच घेतो. नो, हिअर हा एक पॅटर्न म्हणजे एक युजफुल इन्फॉर्मेशन मला मिळालं. सो इट मे बी पॉसिबिलिटी दॅट somebody's drafter is malfunctioning किंवा म्हणजे कुणाचा तरी ब्रेक झाला म्हणजे बाकीच्या महिन्यामध्ये सुद्धा परचेस होऊ शकतो, बट अ परचेस इज व्हेरी लेस. बट इन टर्म्स ऑफ जुलै इट इज हायर. ओके, मी माझी डिमांड तिथे जास्त ठेवेन और सप्लाय जास्त ठेवेन आणि त्याच्यानुसार बाकीच्या मंथ मध्ये कमी ठेवेन. इट मीन्स आय कॅन फोकस ऑन सम अनदर प्रोडक्ट. माझी तिथे इन्व्हेस्टमेंट मला ड्राफ्टर मध्ये जास्त करायची गरज नाहीये. बट इन टर्म्स ऑफ when it comes to the July, I will without hesitation go for a supply of it means stock of drafters and can increase my sales. So this is regarding the data information. I don't know why few of the slides are not visible. Actually, this slide is also not visible. Again, wherever here cross is there, those slides are not visible during our explanation. But in the group, I will share this complete PPT today so that you can have a look and can revise the things, whatever we have learned today. The next, we have moved to the data mining and information retrieval. Next, specialty databases. So specialty databases, these data model is having its own restriction. म्हणजे प्रत्येक डेटा मॉडेलचे स्वतःचे restrictions आहेत. ER we cannot store the data in relational fixed structure is there, but ER supports features like encapsulation or functions, but in terms of relational model I cannot support those functions. So it means that for this purpose we need to move to the specialty databases. So specialty databases, these are the databases which are there to overcome the drawbacks of the existing data models. So object-based data models, whenever it means in terms of 1990s, etc., there is a much more dominance of the object-oriented programming languages were there. Just like previously C was invented, then C++, and then remaining object-oriented programming languages. So it means as soon the use began to programming languages began to dominance, it means त्यांचा maximum use व्हायला लागला, then in the database also we need to, it means we need to improve to the next level, and that's why object-oriented data models were introduced. So object-oriented data models will also have the features of the OOPs, that is object-oriented programming languages. So within that extended in the ER model, we can extend the features of ER model by encapsulation or giving the methods, and then also that is in object-oriented data models we can go for object identity and inheritance. And features, combined features of object-oriented data models and relational model. The another new model is defined, that is object relational data model. So this is having features of relational model as well as object-oriented data model. The next, semi-structured data model. So in terms of relational model, every data is having a fixed structure. म्हणजे instructor हा जर समजा मी एक instructor घेतला, तर त्याची set of information and another instructor same set of information. But in semi-structured, it allows me to have different set of information. म्हणजे instructor A can have different set of columns and B can have different set of columns. So columns, which is also called as attributes or properties, म्हणजे एकाची प्रॉपर्टी दुसऱ्यापेक्षा सेपरेट असू शकते, or they can have, म्हणजे एकाकडे 5 आहेत एकाकडे 6 आहेत, मग याच्या 5 पैकी फक्त 3च मॅचिंग करतात आणि 2 वेगळ्या आहेत. That can also happen. So person to person different data storage that is allowed by the semi-structured model, and for this purpose it is using a XML language. So XML language, this is a markup language which is used to define the object structure. म्हणजे त्या information to structure define for that purpose it can use a XML language. The next, database users, sophisticated users, application programmers, mail users, and the main important user of the database is database administrator. So this is having different functions like schema definition, storage structure, access method, that is access method definition, who can access a data and what rights he or she can have, schema and Is somebody willing to ask any question? कुणाला काही क्वेश्चन विचारायचं का? Okay, database administrator, database complete structure definition or schema definition is handled by the database administrator. Storage structure which to be used or which access method to be defined, that is also done by database administrator. Schema change karna or physical organization change karna, that is also job of database administrator. Granting of authorization for data access, kunala kutle rights द्यायचे, which rights to be given to which users or rule, that is also decided by a database administrator. Routine maintenance, that is keeping a data on a routine basis, periodical backup. The next, ensuring that free space is available for next generating data, and also maintaining uh, jobs running in database. That is also monitoring jobs running into database. That is also done by a database administrator. And the next, database histories. First, data storage into tapes and punch cards, then hard disk, then relational model, then SQL, uh, industrialization, then IBM's product. So here, whatever database systems are generated initially, IBM was there to design a database too. Okay, DB2 is there. So then Teradata, this is also database names. So these are the different major companies which design the databases. So out of that, Oracle is much more popular. Yes, IBM is also there, but Oracle products are most widely used. Okay. Oracle provides commercial versions of Oracle as well as MySQL, open source versions also Oracle is providing. That's why Oracle is also providing versions like SQL Server. Then right now, in terms of market, Oracle 12c was there. After don't know whether Oracle 12c any other versions are there. म्हणजे त्यांचे जे डेटाबेस आहेत त्याच्यात मल्टिपल वर्जन्स येतात. Just like right now we are using MySQL 5.7 for the implementation. मग तसेच MySQL चे खूप सारे वर्जन्स आहेत. Okay, then big data storage systems where web data is much more generated from the customers, and for handling that, it is using systems like Google Bigtable is there, and for Yahoo Peanuts are there, or Amazon, etc. So these are using processing of unstructured data for the advertisement. Okay, so here not only SQL is used, but also beyond SQL it is using means to uh, process the data. Okay, so this is regarding the today's chapter. So almost every point I have explained in few lines. So, but still, if you face any problem, then you can uh, go through the syllabus and let me know. I will wait for the 2 minutes and then I will move to the next point. No one is having the question? Okay, let it be done. So now let us move to the next part. Actually, we decided to start the second chapter, but it's only 10 minutes are there. So before that, let me show you the at least syllabus of the second chapter. So second chapter, we are having it as a database design and the ER model. So before starting with this chapter, let me tell you that ER model, this is one of the data models which we have seen the introduction into the first chapter. So I already told you that first chapter is always covering the 10% of almost every chapter. It means brief idea it is covering. And that's why it is also covered the idea of ER model, that ER is a data model, which is used. Data model is used in order to describe how we can design a database. म्हणजे डेटाबेस डिझाईन करण्यासाठी तो एक वे आहे की बाबा या डेटा मॉडेल मध्ये पण तुम्ही करू शकता, त्या डेटा मॉडेल मध्ये पण तुम्ही करू शकता. So this is an ER model. So first overview of the design process. Design process, which steps are there, that is covered into the first point. The next, what is ER model, that is covered in second point. Then constraints. Constraints, these are the rules. म्हणजे आतापर्यंत आपण बघितलं की जे काही restrictions आहेत रिअल लाईफ मधले, those we can apply on into the those we can apply into the database. But which are those rules? म्हणजे असे कुठले rules आहेत की जे आपण database मध्ये apply करू शकतो. So those are called as a constraints. So constraints, these are some restrictions given onto data so that we can have data matching with the real life, and then removing redundant attributes in entity sets. Entity sets where we are, it means one person entity and multiple person, that will be called as a set of entities. Then ER diagrams, reduction to the relational schemas, ER design issues, and extended ER features. So these are the points which we are going to study. So let me tell you about ER model in brief. ER model is nothing but a graphical representation of user requirements. म्हणजे समजा की एक ऍज अ शॉप ओनर म्हणून मी एखाद्या एक जो कोणी डेटाबेस डिझाईन करू शकतो त्याच्याकडे गेले आणि म्हटलं की मला माझ्या दुकानासाठी एक डेटाबेस डिझाईन करून हवं. जर मी त्याला डायरेक्टली टेबल काढले किंवा कॉलम दाखवले किंवा स्कीमा दाखवला तर तू कळणार नाही. ओके, सो डिझाईन प्रोसेस म्हणजे या डिझाईन प्रोसेस मध्ये फर्स्ट टास्क इज दॅट you should interact with the database user. जे कोणी तो डेटाबेस परत यूज करणार आहे, ज्याची रिक्वायरमेंट आहे किंवा मला डेटाबेस हवा आहे त्याच्याशी इंटरॅक्शन करायचं. सो इन द इंटरॅक्शन इट इज नॉट अ सिंगल प्रोसेस. म्हणजे असं नाही की एका भेटीतच माझं सगळंच्या सगळं काम होईल. नो, हिअर दिस इज अ म्हणजे खूप सारे टास्क याच्यात असतात की एकदा मी डिझाईन केलं की बाबा मी असा डेटा स्टोर करू देत का, त्यानं म्हणलं नाही मला असं नाही असं पाहिजे. इट मीन्स डिझाईन प्रोसेस ज्यावेळेस आपण डेटाबेस कम्प्लीट म्हणतो त्यावेळेस 80% हा युजरच्या रिक्वायरमेंट स्पेसिफिकेशन कडे जातो. सो विथिन दॅट प्रोसेस, so if I'm showing the my database design in terms of SQL किंवा in terms of tables and columns, he or she will not understand. And for this purpose we are using a graphical representation, and that graphical representation is called as the ER model. ER model मध्ये आपण कुठेही डेटा सेव्ह करू शकत नाही. दिस इज सिम्पली अ ग्राफिकल रिप्रेझेंटेशन अँड ग्राफिकल रिप्रेझेंटेशन अँड देन द नेक्स्ट युजर, जो कोणी कम्प्युटर ट्रेंड किंवा जो कोणी शॉप ओनर आहे किंवा जो कोणी डेटाबेस युजर आहे की ज्याला कम्प्युटर यूज करायचा माहितीये पण डेटाबेसच्या क्वेरीज वगैरे काही घेण्यात आलं नाहीये, किंवा जो काही माझा MySQLचा सॉफ्टवेअर आहे त्याच्यामध्ये तो काही तो यूज वगैरे करू शकत नाही. हा, पण एखादा फॉर्म वगैरे दिला त्याला डिझाईन करून, then he or she can access the data. So in that case, first understanding the user requirements and then designing that into the graphical system, then that graphical system can be understood by that user. म्हणजे ती graphical system त्या userला कळू शकते. And वी कॅन शो द रूल्स ऑल्सो. त्याच्यामध्ये एक म्हणजे जे काही स्पेसिफिक रूल्स आहेत किंवा जे काही कन्स्ट्रेंट्स आहेत ते पण अप टू सर्टन लेवल कॅन बी कवर्ड, and those can be made understand to that person, and then from that graphical user we can convert that database design to the SQL. म्हणजे मग ते ग्राफिकल डिझाईन जे आहे ते ऍक्च्युअली म्हणजे इम्प्लिमेंटेशन ज्यावेळेस आपण कम्प्युटरमध्ये क्वेरी किंवा टेबल जनरेशनला सुरुवात करतो, देन दॅट बिकम्स अ लॉजिकल डिझाईन. मग दॅट स्टेप इज कॉल्ड ॲज अ रिडक्शन टू द रिलेशनल स्कीमा. म्हणजे ER मॉडेलचा जो माझा जे काही ग्राफिकल रिप्रेझेंटेशन आहे त्याला परत रिलेशनल स्कीमा म्हणजे रिलेशनच्या डेटा मॉडेल मध्ये कन्वर्ट करण्यासाठी दॅट इज ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ दिस चॅप्टर सिलेबस. ओके, अँड देन देर आर सम डिझाईन इश्यूज. म्हणजे डिझाईन इश्यूज म्हणजे एखादा डिसिजन घेतला नाही, मग ते मी घेतलं म्हणून सगळ्यांनी घेतलंच पाहिजे किंवा एका डिसिजनवर सगळ्यांचं एकच मत असायला हवं, दॅट इज नॉट नेसेसरी. सो डिझाईन इश्यूज, मी एखादा एक अट्रिब्यूट म्हणजे एखादा कॉलम म्हणून घ्यावा का एखादा टेबल म्हणून घ्यावा. इट मीन्स मल्टिपल वेज आर. म्हणजे असं नाही की तो शॉप ओनर माझ्याकडे आला, मी ऍज अ कन्सिडर आय कॅन डिझाईन अ डेटाबेस, देन अनदर वन ऑफ माय कलीग ऑल्सो कॅन डिझाईन अ डेटाबेस. सो देन वी बोथ आर हॅव्हिंग द सेम डेटाबेस. दॅट इज नॉट नेसेसरी. असं नाही की त्याची रिक्वायरमेंटला माझं एकच सोल्युशन असू शकतं. नो, हिअर आय कॅन प्रोव्हाइड अ डिफरंट सोल्युशन, ही और शी कॅन प्रोव्हाइड अ डिफरंट सोल्युशन. सो that varies from person to person, but we can have a similarity of 50 to 60 or 30 to 40% also. My approach is different, his approach is different, but design issues deals with that approach. म्हणजे मी एखाद्या गोष्टीला इम्पॉर्टंट देऊ शकते, he or she may not be felt necessary that thing is that much important. म्हणजे असं असू शकतं की मला जी गोष्ट जास्त महत्वाची वाटते ती एखाद्याला नाही वाटत, किंवा एखाद्याला जी जास्त महत्वाची वाटते ती मला नाही वाटत. then that things can be also covered in a design issues. And in the extended ER features, just like in the object oriented data model, I shown you that it also provides encapsulation and methods. So these points also we are going to learn into ER model. So this is regarding the brief introduction about the chapter 2. So in the next lecture, that is tomorrow morning, we will start with the chapter 2. So only 5 minutes are remaining. If you are having the questions, else drop your roll number into the chat window and you can leave the meeting.